are crazy. Okay.
You remember Kurt Eichenwald. He's the Newsweek reporter who self-immolated on this show about 6 months ago. We'd invited him on to prove his claim that Donald Trump once spent time in a mental hospital, but Eichenwald never did prove it. Instead, he lost control of himself completely, shouting and gesticulating, making weird noises on the set. By the end of the interview, he was sputtering something incomprehensible about the CIA. It was enough to make you feel kind of sorry for Kurt Eichenwald, and actually, no kidding, we did. MSNBC, by contrast, was impressed by his performance. So impressed, they hired him as a contributor. It seemed like a kind of a weird decision at the time. It seems reckless now. Because yesterday, Eichenwald was back on Twitter yelling about his political views. As it happened, he was actually attacking the show. And to prove his point, whatever that was, he tweeted a picture of his home computer. Within minutes, sharp-eyed internet users noticed that he'd left a tab open in the picture, and it was a link to hardcore Japanese cartoon pornography. It exists, and it's every bit as creepy as it sounds. The internet erupted, but Eichenwald had a ready explanation for all this. Here's what he later tweeted. We're quoting. "Believe it or not, my kids and I were trying to convince my wife that tentacle porn existed. I tried to find some to show her it was real, but I couldn't find any and ended up with this. My family reads my Twitter feed so they know this is true," end quote. Well, of course, just another afternoon of surfing the internet for hardcore porn with your kids. Makes sense. Well, it's easy to mock an explanation that absurd, and a lot of America is doing that right now. But let's be honest. For real, this is a troubled man. It doesn't help Kurt Eichenwald to pretend he's okay. He's not okay. He shouldn't be on Twitter. He needs help. His employers obviously know that. They've got Twitter, but they don't care. Because whenever Kurt Eichenwald says something outrageous, just a few months ago, he said every Republican voting to repeal Obamacare ought to have a family member die in agony because, quote, he wanted to see them be tortured. The left responds with glee. Newsweek gets clicks, MSNBC gets viewers. It's awful. They're exploiting him. It's cruel. So to these supposedly serious news organizations, a plea. For real, stop Kurt Eichenwald before he tweets again. He will thank you later for that.
We will make America great again.